Welcome back to the channel with the Model 24. No, Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Keith, my big ugly face, Jesse, standing back there being all pretty. And tonight on the bench, we've got this little bugger from, can we say bugger? Somebody look that up, let me know in the comments. We got this little bugger from teamassociated.com or RC10.com or whoever they want to be. We don't know, they're having a bloody identity crisis over there. But we picked this guy up. Yes, we had problems with it. They forgot to drill a hole in the outdrive for the pin, so that's two kits in a row back to back with issues. We still cannot finish. The DC10 parts are going to be here probably the next 4 to 6 weeks, but don't worry, we ordered a Traxxas 240. Is it 240 180?
Depends on which continent you're on.
Oh shnikes. Okay, so we're in which continent are we on, Jesse?
It's 240 here.
We're on the 240 continent side, so we ordered the red 240. We're going to get that guy picked up. Yes, I know Traxxas, but don't worry. We have a Hobbywing XR10. We have a Yokomo D1 10.5 turn motor. We have a V4. That's like a nice dark red, eh?
Yeah.
Is that different?
I don't think so.
Yeah, looks pink. Anyway, we got a Yokomo V4 gyro. I will find a fantastic servo to drop in that thing. We're going to go with some Rev D knuckles on it. Rhino Racing rear hubs and arms, don't worry, we actually screenshotted somebody else's build so I can get all the parts list and then build that for you guys here. But we're going to have that guy shredding on the track. How they came about was we were shopping for a new car online while the DC10 parts were on backward and coming in, so we ended up like, hell, let's try the Traxxas. It's something like Jesse and I like to take cars that are cheap and make them really good. It's just, I don't know, if you take a really good car like a Yokomo and drive it, ooh, like that's cool. But if you take a junk car and you make it drive and compete and run from a Yokomo, like my RMX 4.0, those guys don't like it. They're scared of that plastic car. That thing's a demon on the track. So I don't know. It's not about the money. It's more about the build in the end. So we're going to pick up the Traxxas car. We're going to see what we can make happen with that. We're going to do all the build on the channel. Plus we have a drift track. So we're going to take it there, throw it on the track, and absolutely shred. Our drift track is a polished concrete, and it is a very high-speed Sendy track. So either way, it'll work out good. But anyhow, enough about drift cars. I know we've been having a lot of fun with those this past year and a half over at Skidmark RC, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Check us out. Come on down. It is an absolute blast. But let's get back to this little yellow guy on the bench. So, outdrive issue, no problem. I was able to get a part from a friend. He actually had a kit that he wasn't building yet. He gave me his parts, and when those parts come in, I'll give him those, whatever. But anyhow, thank you. You know who you are. Okay, guys, so with a build like this, it's fairly straightforward. A couple pointers I want to give you on it. The plastics and everything fit fine. There was no sanding. There was no trimming. They're nice and tight. They're not sloppy in there. The quality is fantastic. In the transmission, when you put it together, there is, you can actually see through the transmission, which is nice. Right here, there's a pin that goes into that little center, whoop, right there. When you put the pin in the gear on the bearings through the other side, it wants to hang down. Face the transmission up, push that over, and make sure that gear is standing up straight, so when you put it all together, it clicks in. If it doesn't click in nice, that pin is getting caught up on the edge of the hole. Just keep trying and getting it, don't force it. It's a little bit of the only sticky part we had on the transmission. The spur gear, all that went fine. It says to set it to 0.5 millimeter of the shaft sticking past the nylock nuts. We went with just a little mushroom sticking out there. Seems good enough for now. Besides that, it is all very straightforward. What we want to talk about before we move on and put all the sweet electronics into it is making sure, this will be a prime example, making sure everything moves good. When you first put these ball ends on, everything is going to be crazy tight. If you guys have been here for a while, you'll know what I'm about to say. That's right, it's time to massage your balls. You want a nice little pair of pliers. These are Crescent brand. You can use kind of any micro ones. just seen the other ones here a second ago. They're right there. There's a nice little pair. We cut the tip down. We ground the back smooth. We just kind of modded a pair of broken ones that somebody threw away on a job site. These guys have been around for years. They work good. Nice small head, angle, get them in there. So what the point of this is, the back's fine. This guy's good. A little slow, but he's good. This guy gets a little bit stuck. So what you want to do is pinch the plastic up onto the ball to get it to kind of stretch around it. So this one might work better just to show you guys what I mean here. So you see that? So you want to just kind of go like this. Like that. Kind of go and just kind of work it, squish it, work it, work it, work it. And what that does is there you go. So it already loosened up. And what that does is it takes the plastic and kind of stretches it around the ball and lets it loosen up. If you just snap it on, it's going to be so tight that this isn't going to move up and down. I've seen a lot of videos of these cars done, and they don't have any suspension. I've kind of watched some other builds, and a lot of guys are skipping this very important part. Now, you won't know that, though, unless you've built micros in the past. So, and I can promise you most RC10 fanatics have not built a micro car in the past. So that might help you guys. Again, we'll pull out the Atomic DRZ because that is the first place, because he's got even tinier balls on him. And we had to spend, and there you go, see? He needs another working. And sometimes when they get stiff, you'll have to go through and just give them another quick little pinch. It's part of the tuning for these micro buggies or micro 128, 124 drift cars. So, pro tip there, guys.
I even had to do it on my Sakura D6.
That's right. And it works for anything. It works for your 10 scales. It works for the 6 scales. You just need a bigger pair of pliers and just squish the plastic onto the ball. It's not that hard. And sometimes what I like to do without the ball, I go here and then a 45, like an X. And what that does is pushes plastic up to the top, loosens it up. You can get stupid on it and crush it and pinch the plastic right off it. We don't need to get stupid. Just keep it simple. Besides that, the only other thing that was a little bit of a pecker, I'm just going to lift this whole tray up because it's magnetic, but is these roll pins for the rear axle shaft. That is your pin, like your hex pin. It goes into the rear shaft. And they're a little bit bigger than the hole. And they are crazy tiny to see. But there is, you're not going to be able to see it, but it is a tube and it has a split. That's why it's called a roll pin. And you need to find where that split is and kind of work it and pinch it down a little bit to get it to roll up. If you try to just put it in the hole and cram it, it's not going to go. Again, a pair of these Crescent pliers, they don't sponsor us, but they're absolutely amazing. They're not cheap. These are about 50 bucks Canadian, so 20 bucks anywhere else, but grab yourself a good pair of pliers like that. I think that's about it. We have yet to do the shocks, and then we're going to throw the rest of the electronics into it. Now the shocks are where we got burned up on the DC10, so let's hope it's all here. Also the manual, we might miss it. It is in the sticker bag. It is just a QR code because you cannot fit a manual in the box with the car. It's impossible. If it was in there, it'd be crap, so this is what you want. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay guys, I'm going to tear into building the shocks, but before we get too far to those, some products you need before that is a good pair of flush cuts. We've got these really nice, what are they called? Palm nipper, the multi-deck palm nippers. These are some badass units. Or you can get some generic ones. These guys come with your 3D printers if you buy a Bamboo printer. From any respectable dealer, they'll give you one of these when you spend $1,000 at their store. And then we've got the Magic Cow RC Utter Butter. We're going to do our O-rings on the shocks to make sure we have a nice flow and no leakage on the bottom side. Now these are a micro set of shocks. There might be some cursing and swearing that we don't want your kids to hear from the next room. So I'm going to build these really quickly, and then we'll just talk about them in the end when we put them on. But let's just take a look at what we get. We have some AE 55 weight oil. I'm probably going to go with something a bit lighter than that. That's pretty greasy. Probably do 27.5 right in the middle. Like, why the heck not? We have the cool little shock shafts. I kind of like those. Kind of cool. It's got like a, it's hard to see in the bag, but like a little machined end on it. Does that work? Cool. Screws and nuts, we're putting them on. 1, 2, 3, 4 shock bodies. 1, 2, 3, 4 caps for the bottom. Non-threaded. And a very coarse spring. It's coarse, but it's kind of soft. I don't know.
That's why they got the thick oil in there.
We'll build them with cow RC grease. We'll see how they feel before we put any fluid in them. Like Jesse said, if they're really springy with a heavy spring, we might have to run the heavier oil for the rebound dampening on them. We don't really care about the compression dampening because the springs will take care of that at this point. Whole bag of E-clips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Really hoping I only need 4. I think he only needs 4. It's got the shoulder. Put your piston onto it. E-clip it. Also with that, you get the parts tree with the 2 lower shocks, a bunch of your clip-in shock spacers, as for some reason they're not threaded on a factory team model, whatever you want to call it. Oh, wait, it's not a factory team. Well, it should be, being a micro. You get the tiny little pistons, and then you get a bunch of spacers. I'm not sure if those are limit, so you can adjust your suspension inside and outside of the shock, which I'm assuming they probably are. And I can probably doubt the manual's not going to tell us, so we'll just go with assuming. Works for me. I'm going to get these together really quick. Okay, guys, got the shocks built. Jesse put these sweet little tires together. Just a pin drive on the back, a nut, 3 little screws. They have like they're bead locks, so they have a retainer ring on the inside. 2 halves go together. They are the classic, which we all love if you're a child of the 80s. The, what do you call that? Pin tire, turf style tire, and the rib for the front. Always cool. That's one thing that'll always bring me back to buggies. Give me a pin type turf tire on the back and a rib on the front. Love them. Love them. Just like our purple Kyosho. He's rocking that. Love that style. I don't know what it's called. Sheep's hoof? Something like that. Anyhow, we got the little shocks built. Now remember I was worried about the fluid. Who cares about that? I was right. The springs are way too rigid. Like, that's pretty rowdy for a little buggy. So that's why we're seeing a lot of them hopping and bouncing around. So we're going to try to find a lighter spring. They may come out with some tuning options, but this is like a toy spring. It's just crap. So you got those done. Shocks are simple. They give you 6 extra E-clips because they are tiny and you can bend them putting them on. We nailed them pretty decently. I did like the shock shaft in this RC10 kit. It has a machined lip on the bottom, where a lot of the other brands are using an E-clip on the bottom, piston with an E-clip on the top, and you're slamming down on that E-clip all the time. So I did like how they have that machine piece on the bottom. Very cool. Again, we haven't built an RC10 buggy ever. We've owned them, but they were just scrap junk things, right? So very cool, new to us. I'm just going to put a couple drops of silicone supplied 55 weight oil in them. Make sure we burp out the bubbles. Usually you want to put the O-ring on the shock cap first, but I seem to forget quite often to do that. Like, they're very nice feeling shock for like a 10 scale. Something much, much larger, so. They look good though. Besides, they're non-threaded. Okay, hang on. I mean, they're gold. Let's just say that. No, I was joking. Okay, another shock done. The rears get one of those spacers I was talking about. Now, there's part numbers for all these in the manual, but they actually don't correspond to any of the part numbers on the trees. So, usually in a manual that has an index, you can reference back, but the micro one doesn't have an index in it. So just figure it out. It's not that hard. So yeah, basic run-of-the-mill aluminum, throwaway shocks, non-threaded. There may be a threaded factory team option down the road, but I'm highly doubting it with the trajectory that Team Associated is on right now. That's down, by the way, not up. If you're on the other side of the world or something, don't understand that, but... Okay guys, that's going to be the end of the video for this week. Unfortunately, we had big intentions of getting the DC10 done. You know, that didn't work out. We moved on to the Model 24. We also had issues with that. 2 failed kits have left us kind of in a tough situation getting a video completed for you guys. We just do not have the time to get this buggy done and out to you guys even as a roller in the next 12 hours. So we do have the battery coming for this, and this is going to be a 2-part video. So once we get the battery, we'll put all the electronics in it. We'll take our time. We'll do a nice paint job on it. I got some candy orange from Spastics. We'll do something a little bit different. The factory paint's cool, but we just did it on the Jeep, and I hate it. I just hate it. It's such a gross color. Like, it's literally cat puke. Like, it's just gross. Anyhow, we'll see you guys next week. We're going to get this guy done, and we are hoping to get that DC10 on the track. We've got the 24K Corvette. That's the color of it. Stay tuned. It's going to be one hell of a beast on the track. See you next week. Sure.